And there's a lot of blame out there. I mean, we're playing the blame game. And we all see it. Who do we blame? The President of the United States, George W. Bush. I do blame George W. Bush. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the deciderer. He's the one who sent the troops off. I blame George W. Bush for what's happening in Iraq and Afghanistan, the potential Iraq. I blame the Congress of the United States because this is not a dictatorship. The Congress has a responsibility set forth by the Constitution not only to be involved in declarations of war, but to carry out oversight of the executive. And this is not transpiring today. Congress has rolled over and played dead. So I blame the Congress. And then there's the ultimate boogeyman we all love to blame, the media. I blame the media. I blame CBS News, NBC News, ABC News, CNN, Fox. I blame them all. The New York Times, the Washington Post, they are all to blame because they packaged up these lies and they spoon-fed us. Blame the president, blame the Congress, blame the media, blame the media, blame the media. I hear it. You know what it reminds me of? You're probably going to think I've gone off my rocker at this point in time. It reminds me of springtime in New York. And you can sit there and go, dude, you have gone off the deep end. Why do I say spring? You live in Missouri. How cold do your winters get? Do they get cold here? Well, they get really cold up where I live in upstate New York, you see. When the winter comes in, the place freezes up and all the birds fly south. And then you sit there and you shiver as the winter goes on, and you wait, and springtime comes, and the sun comes out, and the miracle of life blooms before you. Grass grows, leaves come out, flowers, and the birds come back from their hiatus. And the birds are very, very productive little creatures. You know, they fly around, they get twigs, they get branches, and they build nests, little homes in these trees. They build them right outside my office where I work at home. And then the miracle of life occurs. They lay eggs, and mama bird sits on the eggs, and they hatch. And out from the little eggs come tiny little baby birds, and they're so beautiful. They sit there and they go, tweet, 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 and mama bird's sitting on the branch. She hears them tweeting. She flies off because she knows what they want. She goes, gets it. The little worms, the insects, she eats them, puts them in her gut. Then she flies back, and the little birds are going, tweet, tweet, tweet. Mama bird lands it, and she pukes down each one of their throat. And the little birds are so happy because they got exactly what they're asking for. And it reminds me of the American people when we turn on the television and we go CBS Evening News, tweet, 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 and they puke down our throat. We get the New York Times and we grab the New York Times and we read it and we go tweet, 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 and they puke down our throats. We're little birds, ladies and gentlemen. We get exactly what we want. We can blame the media all we want. But at the end of the day, it's our fault because we have allowed ourselves to be programmed as tiny little birds willing to receive puke with a smile on our face. We have to stop being little birds. We have to break the little bird syndrome. We have to become what I call citizen intelligence officers, hunter-raptors of information. Now, I'll give you a little quick course on how to be a citizen intelligence officer. It's a 5-step program. That's 7 steps less than AA, so it's easy. It's really easy. We can break this addiction to bird puke. It's 5 easy steps. Step number 1, the most important step. Ask the question. You see, when you grab the newspaper, look at the headline. Did you write that headline? Did you sit in on the editorial meeting that decided what that headline was going to be, what the lead story was going to be? No. So when you grab a newspaper, you're allowing others to define what it is you're going to receive. You're a little bird tweeting away and they're puking away. You turn on the TV. Did you sit in on the production meeting and decide what the lead story was going to be? No. You see, you have to divorce yourself from this and ask the question, what do I want to know? What information do I need to have? I am now in charge is what you're saying. I am asking the question. Step 2, collect the information. Now you go and read that newspaper. Now you go and watch those TV shows. But you see, you've already said I'm in charge because you've reestablished the relationship. It's not them puking down your throat. It's you determining whether or not you're going to consume this information. You now have a choice. I sort of call it the London version of intelligence data collection. You see, I travel to London a lot. I go to London hotels. Great place. And usually if you pay all that money, you get a nice British breakfast. Great Britain was, dominated the world as an empire, and this is what you get for breakfast. But that's okay. I can forgive the breakfast because I also get 5 newspapers. 5 newspapers. And I grab the newspapers, each one They're all covering the same news. I get the Telegraph. That's Rupert Murdoch's take on the world. I get the Guardian. That's the Labour Party's take on the world. I get the Times. That's the Conservative Party. I get the Independent. That's the Social Democrats. And I get either the Sun or the Daily Mail. Just for my personal viewing pleasure, I open up to page 6, and I usually have a centerfold. Then I put that one away, and I go back to the hard news. But I have 5 different takes on the same piece of information. I collect information. Then I go through step 3. I organize it. I organize it chronologically. I organize it by subject matter. I try and make sense out of it. It's just not a compilation of raw data. I sort of set it up into subsets. Step 4. I assess it. I digest it. I bring it in. I engage that supercomputer that resides between this earlobe and this earlobe. The most powerful supercomputer out there. And you know what happens as I do this assessment? I establish an independently formed point of view. The most powerful thing that we can ask for in a democratic society. A citizen empowered by knowledge and information. Not knowledge and information that was puked down their throat, but knowledge and information which they derived themselves as citizen intelligence officers. Do I have intelligence yet? Nope, there's one last step. Answer the question. Complete the circle. Ask the question, collect the data, assess the data, or collect the data, organize the data, assess the data, then answer the question. And suddenly, you are in charge. You're running the show. And it's an amazing thing, you see, because one of the things that affects us as a society is our ignorance. I hate to use that term. I was told today that's a very powerful term. But if you think about it, 300 million people populate the United States of America. It's the most technologically advanced people on the face of the earth. And yet collectively, we're about the most ignorant people on the earth about the world we live in. We don't understand this. And yet somehow we feel empowered that we have the inherent right, all 300 million of us, to dictate the terms of coexistence with 6.8 billion other people, as if there's only one person calling the shots. That's a mighty powerful position to be taken when we don't understand the world we live in. See, far from being the strong cowboy standing up there in the world going, I see all, I know all, and I'm going to do all, we're really a bunch of timid cowards. We're very big timid cowards. But if you think about it, we run and hide from our own shadow because we don't understand it. We're ignorant about the world we live in. We allow a couple hundred Islamic fundamentalists to cow us into not only declaring war on the world, but declaring war on ourselves. From ignorance, what is ignorance? That which you don't know. And from ignorance comes fear. Fear of that which you do not know. And this fear allows you to be manipulated by the political powers that be. And they get to lead you down a path of their choosing, not your choosing. We have to empower ourselves with knowledge and information, ladies and gentlemen. We have to break free of this prison that we've allowed our government to impose on us in the name of security. Because if we don't, we cease to function as citizens of the nation that has the greatest potential than any other nation on the face of the earth to do good things. I love my country. I love America, and I think we're united in our love for America. But America stands for nothing if it doesn't stand for the ideals and values set forth in the Constitution of the United States. And that is what we should be about. The defense of these principles, these ideals, these values, and defense of our role as citizens in this country. We are a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. But that equation does not work if we cease to function as the people. We, the people of the United States of America. Thank you very much. Now